And Rhonda. Rhonda.
You're always going to be auditioning. Don't give away your story so soon.
Your character has a goal. Their character has a goal.
I wonder if maybe we raise our voice a little bit.
Yes, be bold!
Is it working for you? You getting a different shade?
We hosted our 3rd annual CFA Symposium Day, and that is a day where the musical theater students and the theater students are pulled from their academic classes to attend a day-long series of workshops, master classes, taught by guest artists in the greater Richmond community, theater professionals, dancers, choreographers, film experts. We bring them in so that the students get the chance to work with these kind of people, and it complements their normal curriculum with the CFA program. And it's a perk for our students that go here because they don't have to pay anything.
So you want to go over the wording with the black.
I went to prop building.
But you're going to do that outside.
That's Michael Jones, and he does most of our set building and set design, sound design. He's very good with making just like the overall like stage come to life. And we made gravestones, which is for our new school musical, which I am in, and it's Addams Family. We made like really funny ones. Like there were some that said like, "Rest in peace, Peter, picked too many peppers." So like it's basically silly little quips about like fairy tale characters and stuff like that, because it wasn't like real, so we were just making up stuff, and it's really funny.
Give each word its own sense of weight, and don't be so married to the cadence that we've already sort of ingrained. It's like, to be or not to be, that is the question. You know what I mean? To be or not to be, well, that's the rhythm.
The first class I took was auditioning with Scott Wichman, and he taught us how to go into an audition and stay calm, but present yourself well, and take a breath, and then present your monologue, and don't do a whole lot of hand movements. Sometimes it's just nice to just stand there and stare at a certain point.
Find your boyfriend's face, you can see it wherever it is in there, and then just tell him the first, whatever that first section is about the dream.
I mean, I've been going on college auditions and stuff, and I had one literally the day after my workshop with him, and he brought up all kinds of things that I hadn't thought about in a while, because I'd been working with the same piece for about 9 months, 10 months.
What happens is sometimes we memorize it, and we memorize the pattern of the language. So if I say the line 1,000 times the same speed, the line reading becomes a fixed thing.
He was a really, really great sounding board, and he was a completely new set of ears and eyes who had all these helpful hints and tips for how to make it good and make it better.
Give her a round of applause for that. Those adjustments, outstanding.
That focus is never broken. Their eyes never dart away, and it intensifies.
My first workshop was with Anderson and Sam. They were the film guys.
Again, in front of the camera, you can't do that, right? Because the camera's up close. Anything you do is going to be magnified 100-fold. So
We did monologues on camera, because a monologue on a camera is very different than a monologue on the stage.
Didn't move out of frame. My face, I didn't bobblehead, which I always do when I'm on stage. The whole, that thing, my eyebrows didn't bounce around. There's much more here. My voice is much more conversational. I'm just talking to you right there.
This symposium, it incorporated a lot of film technique and how you can tie that in with your theater technique. So it was very fun. That workshop was very informative.
Whatever you're feeling inside, anxious, just don't say words, but just noises, okay?
And then I did relaxation with Eva DeVirgilis, which was awesome.
Beforehand, I was like, what? This is crazy. Sit in a chair, sit still, and just relax. Like, I'm a tense person, always.
To sit like this in your body, in your skin, and to simply be present.
I actually did it, and I felt less stressed, and I was breathing correctly, and I was able to really be happy in that moment.
You cannot make people feel something unless you take action.
She would give us a line with 2 parts, and she would assign different objectives to it. So the line would stay the same, but you would either have to use those words to make her laugh, or make her cry, or convince her.
Scare me!
Anything can happen.
I'm not scared!
Just all kinds of different objectives and verbs you could put on the same words and give them different meaning.
Anything can happen.
Nice.
floor, and then you're gonna collapse down.
After that, I took Patty DeBeck's dance class.
Here we go. Again.
She's been on several Broadway shows as a dancer, as dance captain for a few shows. And she started us with a Broadway warm-up, how she warms up whenever she's doing a Broadway audition or whenever she's leading a Broadway audition. There was a moment we had to improv at the very end, and it was really funny to see what other people came up with. We did a lot of very jazzy stuff. It was fun. She was a good time.
Take your nerves and turn it into the story.
Then I did Broadway audition thing, and I actually sang in that one. That also focused on your presence in the room, but also improving on your sound quality and how you just workshopping your song and making it as good as possible for a Broadway audition.
Soft till loud, here we go.
And we learned that it's not just the actual performance that they're focused on, they're also focused on how you walk in the room, how you present yourself, and how that get their attention. And so it's going over more so of your physical presence in the room.
Somebody forced me to care.
I wear many, many hats. Can any of you guess some of the hats that I wear?
Erica Arvold was our keynote speaker, and she talked about her life path and how the choices she made eventually affected her career.
The only thing I know is to constantly listen to yourself, trust your gut, and continue with what you know brings you joy and happiness. And sometimes you just have to say yes, and sometimes you have to say no.
It was nice, and it was very calming to see that it all worked out for her, and it's probably gonna work out for us.
Honestly, it's unbelievable, and it sets up a network.
It's nice to remember that you can work in theater in so many positions. There's infinite positions where you are still a working artist. So I try to absorb all of it so I can take it in and take it with me for when I do go to college, when I am paying for tuition.
It's always constantly learning and experimenting and trying new things. I like it way better than anything else.
I think Maria Mitchell is the heart of Henrico because she truly cares for her students and treats them like family.
So what temperature is that?
Hansi Atia is the heart of Henrico because he's just always willing to go above and beyond no matter what the situation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're awesome.
Danny Nicholas is the heart of Henrico because he's caring, he's committed, compassionate, and he loves the stakeholders in Henrico County.
Speech, convince us why the speech.
I did a Barbie house.
You're gonna get a Barbie house?
Yeah.
Adrienne Lambert is the heart of Henrico because she believes in giving back, and it's not because she's interested in recognition, it's because she cares so much.
Well, Heart of Henrico is an employee appreciation effort. In other words, we're looking for people within the school division to tell us something nice about someone they work with or someone who they know, and to really raise the level of awareness of all the positive energy, good stories, and interesting things that are happening in our schools that might not otherwise get this kind of attention.
He has a sense of school spirit and teamwork and compassion and positivity that is absolutely contagious to both the students and the faculty around here. A few years ago, he started a basketball club, and those students work on teamwork and they work on some other character building activities in the process of learning about basketball.
All right, so while we're doing our drills and activities, build people up, right? Be positive, say let's go, right?
Radcliffe Elementary, Miss Parrish.
She grew up in the community. She knows the parents, the students, and even some of the grandparents. And most of the people that come in know her, and kids love her. They come in to get their hugs and their attaboys.
Are we gonna have a good rest of the day? You sure?
When the teachers are putting out fires or the administrators are putting out fires, she doesn't hesitate to grab a walkie when the teachers call, and she'll head down to the classroom.
So often we recognize people who win awards or become a state champion either in athletics or music or art, but really what we hadn't been doing is recognizing and appreciating the things that happen in our schools every day.
Slide and drop.
Teachers who help students or assistants who help fellow teachers. Every single day there are positive things happening within our staffs, within our classrooms, in our cafeterias and gymnasiums. And those are the things that sometimes go overlooked. Or if they're not overlooked, they're well known inside the school building, but Heart of Henrico is a way to take it to the next level and let the entire community know what's going on inside our schools every day.
She's not only a very engaging art teacher, but she does so much more. She's doing a mural for our 50th anniversary with our students and our community.
Thank you guys.
And she is having a yoga night here this week where she's raising money for the victims of the hurricane relief.
Everybody wants to be in her class because of the environment, because she's so loving. She's the school mom to just about everybody here. And they cook on a regular basis. It's not just about learning recipes or the theory. They really do get the practical application.
And then put some butter in there too.
Her culinary kids have cooked feasts for us.
Thank you.
It really helps the teachers feel appreciated.
Inside each and every school are special people doing extraordinary things for one another, for their students and their families, and the Heart of Henrico is a really good way to demonstrate to our community the kinds of people that we have in our school system.
I think Hunter Edwards is the Heart of Henrico.
I really believe Brent Sneed is the Heart of Henrico.
I really believe that Asia Corporal Fox is the Heart of Henrico.
I'll scoot over.
We're going to be headed out onto the beautiful James River towards Presque Isle National Wildlife Refuge. We have an incredible partnership with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that allows us to bring up to 2,000 students a year and teachers out to this incredible resource here on the James River right near Hopewell, Virginia. So welcome to Presque Isle Island. Presque Isle is a national wildlife refuge. So we try to make this a good, safe place for ducks. Ducks like to migrate in the fall. What does that mean? Yeah.
It means like they're moving from some place to another place because the first place is cold and they're trying to going to a warmer.
Exactly.
If I see a snake, I'll run.
Ooh, a mole or a camel cricket? Yeah, those are pretty common. Those are awesome Virginia bugs. This opportunity allows the students to come out and see, a wildlife refuge, a natural space that's specifically managed with native plants and specific for the migratory waterfowl.
1, 2, whoa. 3.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but the island used to be attached to the mainland. Ships would have to come all the way around the entire thing to get up to Richmond. Nice and slow. Keep going. All these fish that you're seeing, they are perfectly fine. They shouldn't stay out of water for a few minutes, okay?
I think it's really important to get students outside in a positive way. I feel like a lot of times when we go outside, we're taught, don't touch the poison ivy, be careful, there's snakes. We're taught to fear nature. And so hopefully this experience allows them to realize that nature is a positive thing and really create that positive connection, that they feel good about it and that they want to learn more about it. When they realize what a great opportunity it is, they're like, oh, this will fit great into my SOLs, right into my classroom. And it just allows the classroom to come to life and then to really see what they're learning about and touch it and make those connections on their own so that that knowledge really sticks with them.
doing it. Miss Tyson. Let me see. Hey guys. No, I'm not.
So we have All Henrico Reads, where we choose a book and the author comes and talks about that book.
So one of the questions I would often ask myself is, what can I do? I'm just one person, I'm just a writer.
To have her come and know that she wants to get her point across about what she did experience, and for her to be that dedicated about something that she wrote really showed the passion she had behind the book.
Well, we read the book, The Distance Between Us by Ariana Grande, and it deals a lot with how people are treated because they look different and the struggles that they have when that happens. That was something I wanted to highlight here at Glen Ellyn, as we are a diverse population, and I wanted to show as many differences that we have, but that we kind of all are one and need to be united in taking care of one another.
We all work together to make a display outside, which is basically the quotes that I guess were the deepest or that meant a lot. And they're all anonymous, because a lot of them are really, really personal.
I wanted it just to be true, honest words, and so nobody knows whose words belong to whom. Some of the pictures that are in there are no words.
Well, I think really we weren't trying to do anything else except just kind of be simple and sleek. We wanted the map in the background for sure, just to really symbolize and kind of drive home the point that we come from all over the world. But as for the actual cubes, they just kind of lent themselves well to like a nice aesthetic and something simple and easy to look at.
So we wanted to do an activity that related to the book, so we had a canned food drive.
I know that in the book she was in poverty a lot. I think we're just trying to kind of prevent that same situation from happening again with collecting all these cans, just help those people that are in need.
Anybody in Glen Ellyn that needs food or needs help goes to Lamb's Basket.
They're actually like down the street from us, so it was nice to help a local charity. So we thought that was just a neat way to incorporate some of the book into an activity for the school.
In short, I can tell you we worked really hard on it. A lot of effort went into it on my own part, on Miss Harden, the Glen Ellyn's high school librarian part, many other teachers, students.
So it took a long time. The vision that I had for it was in October, and for the unveiling, it was the last week of March, and it was exactly what I envisioned, which is very rarely what happens in art.
I really think it's amazing to see, and it's amazing to see people's reactions and what people are learning from this.
I think it gives people a voice and it tells them that their story matters, which is another reason why this book was chosen, was because the author wanted to tell her story, which is so many other people's stories.
The words are very important, the pictures are very important, and helping others is very important, listening to their stories. I want them to feel like that they belong here, and we want them to feel like that they're family.
They then compared it to what BDOE said.
Yeah, so we have 4 cornerstones and this one gets 2 of those. This is test 1. And let's say we want to shut this whole thing down, right? Putting you on the spot now.
That's right.
Shut it down.
Due to inclement weather, school will have a 2-hour delay on Tuesday, March 13th.
I'm going to save that, now watch, it'll take care of it.
What kind of education will they be receiving?
Abolishing that zero tolerance policy is in the best interest of students and in the best interest of their future.
You mean that you want to get rid of it completely?
Today we will be presenting on the disruption to the school prison pipeline. The ayes have it, the motion passes.
I want to thank y'all for what you're doing, and let's do more of this. Have a good evening.
I'm in a program that's called IB at J.R. Tucker High School, where the juniors and through junior and senior year we make art pieces about anything that we really feel passionate about, and then we get to display them in this exhibition at the end of the senior year. My theme is really about problems around the world displayed through geographical representation like maps or globes, things like that. The hole that's in the globe is on the Middle East, and there's a lot of religious intolerance there and a lot of conflict over religion.
My work is focused around the lives of Indian women, like their daily lives, and how society around them has affected how they're perceived. I did both sculpture as well as photography. I actually spent a month in India and took the photographs that you can see behind me. And my sculptures are mostly based around how Indian women are seen as commodities to just create children and not as their own full people. I've been in the IB program since 6th grade, so I've been doing it for about 7 years now. It's been very helpful for me because the IB program focuses on reflection and reflecting on your own experiences, and that reflection really helps me grow as a person and as my own individual, and it's really helped me choose a good career path for when I'm in college and deciding what I want to do in the future.
My pieces are all made out of cardboard except for the 3 pieces over here. They're made out of encaustic. The purpose behind my pieces was to use the hair as a metaphor to represent people's identity, culture, and heritage.
I knew that I wanted to cover kind of the aspects of war, but primarily focus on the positive outcomes of war. Unfortunately, war is mostly portrayed as a negative thing, which it is, but I believe that there is a lot of hope to be seen. And for those victims, I think it's important that we do talk about the hope, but also mention the atrocities and injustices around the world. So with my pieces, I try to add a flower in most of them to kind of symbolize the idea of hope and kind of the connection between the victims and the people around the world that are willing to help out those in need. My theme is mostly black and white to kind of emphasize the darkness and the violence around the world. But again, I have the red flower to kind of contrast that to show the hope.
Art is a great way to spread awareness, and I really wanted to spread awareness to these issues around the world because I feel like if we all take action, things will change.
This year is the 6th annual Challenger Day, where special ed students from across Henrico County are coming out to Tuckahoe Little League in a partnership that provides a wonderful program on the baseball field for students. It's helping them build some skills, at the same time build some self-esteem and self-confidence.
Number one, it's great for the kids and the schools that are here. Our staff gets a lot of enjoyment out of doing this as well, and it's our little piece to give back to the community.
When you look at the kids and you look at the volunteers at Challenger Day, it's hard to tell who's more excited. You know, the kids are having a blast. It's their chance to be on the field, to do some of the things they're seeing their peers do across the county, or even their idols that they see on TV. And for the volunteers to see the excitement in the kids' eyes, to see them running the bases, the self-esteem and confidence they're building, it's just really a wonderful time.
Oh, it's great. There's over 300 kids here today, so we get a chance to interact with every single one, you know, on campus. So for us, this is we look forward to this day every year.
For a non-objective piece by looking for some of the elements and principles in nature.
Kids love technology. They love their phones, they love their social media, they love their laptops. So this project sort of integrated something that they already love to do. They love to take pictures and they love to edit and they love to use their filters. And the goal of the project was for them to capture the mundane schoolyard and then transform it into aesthetically pleasing photos.
Look around and see what you can find outside that kind of will help inspire a non-objective piece.
My picture was of a leaf that it had rained, and then the night before it froze and it had frost all over it. She wanted us to take pictures of something, a different perspective so plants that looked really big or zoomed in to flowers. You usually don't look at a leaf and think of it as a big image, and so I took a picture of that and I thought it was really cool.
We went outside, we took all these pictures, and then we came back in and used several different editing softwares, and they edited their photos to increase the aesthetic quality. So we talked about the elements and principles of photography, we talked about composition, a lot of things, again, that photographers sort of focus on when they are taking pictures.
She told us to kind of like look a different way that you would normally take a picture of. So I kind of took a picture of inside the pine cone instead of just the outside. It was a different perspective of something that you would normally just look at and see. It was kind of just a unique aesthetic way to take a photo.
And to sort of add another twist to it, we worked with Henrico Citizen, and I reached out to them and asked if they would be interested in printing some of our pictures in the newspaper. They actually had to create a business pitch where they put all of their finished edited photos in a presentation, and they had to sort of explain what elements and principles were present in their artwork, why their photos were aesthetically pleasing, and why they should be printed in the newspaper. They ultimately voted on the top 5 photos to be printed in Henrico Citizen.
It was very exciting because I've never really been entered in an art contest or really anything for people to see my art in. So it was very different.
Photography is kind of a forgiving art form. You don't have to necessarily have the same kinds of raw skills that you might normally have for drawing or for painting or for some other art forms. So when you go outside with a camera, it's all about your eye. It's all about how you see things and how you capture things, and then how you kind of transform them through the editing process, which is really neat because I see a lot of students thrive with photography that might not otherwise thrive in other art forms.